good morning, all. Good morning, everyone watching us live today. So we have come up with our Study in Canada, a virtual live session with our special guest from the university, Lakehead University, Ontario. And she's back here with us today doing the virtual session once again. And of course, like this is for January intake. And Garima, you're welcome to the event today.
Thank you so much, Pavon, for having us once again. This is chapter 2 or season 2 with
Right.
Bradford, and we are equally excited as we were in the first season. I'm really looking forward to a rapid fire round for another hour or so.
Oh yeah, great. So how are you doing? Everything is cool. Like I know application increasing for your university for coming intake. So how are you handling?
In fact, it has been absolutely an overwhelming response from students and from partners all across the world. Our team is completely filled with applications, and I think Canada has always been very open and clear about the kind of support they extend to international students. So, Lakehead has been doing fantabulously well. We've started our September intake very successfully. We've had a lot of students joining online intake, as well as the one who were in Canada had joined in person this fall. And now the entire focus is on next year. So winter is the next intake. January is the next intake we have, followed by spring and fall 21. But besides that, we're also very excited, Pavan, to host our first ever Lakehead open house. So that would be an opportunity for students to interact with faculty, senior professors, and other senior faculty members at the university. So that's on the 23rd of October. It is going to be a live session where the student could register well before, and that would be in the evening. So during the course of a discussion today, I would share more insights about this open virtual event for students. So I'm sure viewers and prospective students could take an opportunity to connect with professors directly at that platform.
That sounds like very interesting session, coming up. And then we are fortunate to have you before that event. And of course, that gives us ample opportunities for us and the students and the parents, to learn more about Lakehead University and their further study plans in Canada. Thanks for letting us know. And before we start also, and in Nepal, we have just started our Dasai festival from today itself. So we want to wish you all from my personal as well as organization side and our side, as well as our university partner side. We wish you a happy Dasai, happy Gatastapana. That's the day first. And of course, you should know about that as well.
Yeah.
We wish you all a very joyful celebration, and of course, very healthy party and gathering, and make it even better. So that's very important here, being safe. All right. So today, we don't rush. We just want to give you as much information as we can, because we have a special lady here on the event, and then to give you the best information about your application process to Canada, and especially to the university, Lakehead University. And for information from Nepal and India and some other South Asian country, as well as all the international markets, Lakehead has been very popular in terms of the programs, their fee structure, as well as the three levels of studies, from undergrad, the bachelor's degree, to master's, as well as the PhD research program as well. So with this, of course, there is a big diversity, students, a number from various countries across the world, over 100 countries are represented there. So this is great university to continue your studies. So we have this privilege to work with you, Garima, and your team at Lakehead University. Thanks for this opportunity and support all in the way. So let's advise our viewers, please, while you are watching us, don't hesitate to drop your questions, any question about the programs of your interest, or the application process, or the tuition structure, or the scholarship, if there is any, or even they got graduate assistantship, which is great as well. And also how they are coping with the challenge right now, and so many things, that anything that comes on your mind, you can just drop your comment, drop your question on the comment box. Thank you. So Garima, just want to start with you, what are the changes you think have been happening in terms of the visa scenario to Canada?
Well, we all have been seeing that IRCC has been very very prompt with all the updates, and the government is also kind of focusing on opening the border. So we all are waiting for 23rd or 20th of October as the date to have another positive announcement by the government.
Right.
In the last couple of months, what we have seen, the students have started to receive AIP, which is approval in principle. That's actually a ticket for students to get started with their online program.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, government, the CIC, IRCC have been very active and pro in issuing the AIP. So we have seen that all across the world, AIPs have been really active, and all these students have started to study the programs online. Yeah.
That's great because we got that news, like, AIP, approved in principle visa. That is like, literally we can call it an online visa, because even if you can't travel to Canada, even if you're not able to travel to Canada like in past few months, then you are still given those options, like to apply online. I mean, send your documents online, like do everything whatever possible as documents that you can send it through, and then they will make a decision, and then it's a visa. So it's like everything world has gone virtual, and then now this visa process has also been virtual, and they have this approved in principle. That's like 2 layer of like visa process. So this is AIP that we call. And when we have borders open, then you will be granted with that stamping. That's the regular visa stamping. So that's a study permit. So just keep in mind that with that AIP, that's what I believe, like 99.99 is kind of like visa. That's a study permit. So when you have border open, then you can travel. So this is great. And then more is expected at the end of this month. Like Garima just informed us, like on the 20th, right? We're going to have some updates from the immigration. All right. So
Absolutely, more clarity.
yeah, we'll be happy to update you, all the viewers, dear viewers, about that too, because we are here to give you the first-hand information. All right, Garima, thanks for joining us again, and we'd be happy to hear from you about your university, Lakehead University. Why is it so popular among Nepalese students and the Indian students, or Sri Lankan, or Bangladesh, or even a European? Are so many people always already to like in the queue, I want to go to Lakehead for this particular program for this reason. So what are these plus please show us here today.
Thank you so much, Pavon, for setting up such a beautiful stage, and you have spoken so high about our institution. Thank you so very much. Nepal has been a very promising, upcoming, and a favorable market for Lakehead. Though we started, a journey a few intakes ago, but we've started to seeing those results coming, and a lot of students from Nepal have started their program online this September, and we've received a lot of applications for upcoming intakes also. And Canada as a destination, of course, has become very popular among Nepalese students. And we've been doing lot of activities in the last couple of months. So thank you once again for having us here. Let's get started with the presentation. So I'm just going to share my screen. I hope my presentation is readable, is clear, Pavon.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just going to pull this up on the screen, and
Yeah.
I just want to request our viewers watching us live now that you won't be bored. Trust me, because they got very good programs to share with you, and just pick the best programs that is fit for you, and just let us know if you got any confusion or so at the end of the presentation. All right. So please bear with us, and we need your little patience on that. And Garima, please go ahead with this, and I'm authorizing your presentation.
Sure.
I think I need you to share your screen one more time, please.
1 second. Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So as we get started with the presentation, Lakehead is a well-known and a well-recognized name in Canada in the education industry. What we promise is a true Canadian experience. So what does that mean? That we are literally helping newcomers fill gaps in knowledge or gain skills to prepare themselves for the Canadian job market. And that's what we promise for. So all our programs have been designed well, keeping in the requirements of the country. When we look at our history, the history of the institution goes back to 1920, when we were a small institution but grown to a university level in 1965. So from one campus, or let's say from 200 odd students, grown to a level of about almost 15,000 odd students. From one campus, now Lakehead has three campuses. All in all, we have about 1,400 international students coming from over 80 different nationalities, and we have a broad area of program that gets divided between undergraduate, graduate, and masters, which is the PhD. When we look at the location of our institution, we are, the map is absolutely clear on the screen. So the entire country has been divided into 10 provinces. But when we look at the real business, real industry, you would get to find that in Ontario, and that's where we are. So we are in Ontario, which is the second largest and the most progressive in a commercial area of the country. There are two campuses for Lakehead. Thunder Bay is the signature campus, which is about an hour and a half by flight from Toronto, caters to all undergraduate, master's, and PhD programs. Aurelia campus, which was opened about 19 years ago, caters to only undergraduate programs. Now, just to share a few insights about the campus, that what really is different about the city and the campus. So when we look at the city of Thunder Bay, it's on the shores of the world's largest freshwater lake, and it is also the sunniest city in East Canada, and also one of the most visited cities in all of North Ontario. The uniqueness of the city is the lifestyle and economic opportunities. Why? Because it attracts young, urban, and intelligent professionals and new businesses from all over North America. Some of the major industries in Thunder Bay include consulting, transportation, manufacturing, education, forestry. So a big start for students who are literally looking to do something into manufacturing. We have some excellent range of courses, both at bachelor's and master's level. When we look at the campus, so it's on, it's spread over a sprawling area of about 250 acres of land, comprises of magnificent buildings, lush green lawns, and vibrant surroundings. So everything is pretty much on the campus. So we have student-run centers, cafeterias, accommodation, laboratories, excellent sports facilities. Everything's pretty much on the campus for students to explore. Now, this is just a small picture of Aurelia campus. And after this, I'm also going to share a link so that you could actually watch a live guarded virtual tour. So that will give you a closer look of both the campuses, which I'm sure you would really want to, see in terms of different amenities and facilities offered to students. So when we look at Aurelia, as I said, that this is actually a dedicated undergraduate campus. And Aurelia as a city is less than 90 minutes from Greater Toronto. Some of the major industries include retail, tourism, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, and consulting. The uniqueness of the city is that though it is close to Toronto, but the city has worked really hard to retain the small town charm that has captivated generation. And that is why the quality of life is absolutely unbeatable in the city. So when you're looking to apply to Lakehead, especially at an undergraduate level, you could choose between the Thunder Bay or Aurelia campus, but yes, not all programs are offered at Aurelia. And I'm sure the team at Bradford will help you understand and analyze the different options open at that campus. When we look at Aurelia, it is an enchanting place to visit, a great place to work, an ideal place to do business, and a wonderful place to live in. Now, this is the link. I would absolutely encourage our audience, our viewers, to make a note of this live guarded virtual tour. So you will get to book a slot, and it's going to be absolutely free of cost. You could see both the campuses, like, closer look of the campus. You would get to see different facilities, laboratories, accommodation, everything, just with the click of, your fingers. So make sure that you take a moment, take a picture of it, and book a slot to visit the live campus tour. Now, what are the advantages attached to Lakehead? Why should students be choosing Lakehead? When we look at the ranking, it is among the top 10 universities in Canada. We are also among the top 2 universities in Ontario. And when it comes to research, no one can really, there's no one closer to competition because we've been ranked number 1 for undergraduates, especially for the last 5 years in a row. And besides that, we have a strong portfolio of research at master's as well as PhD level. We as an institution has been heavily funded by government as well as some private entities to keep exploring the research opportunities we have. So that is why we've been ranked number 2 for the same. And also the scholarship plays an integral part. So when we look at an undergraduate student, it is almost guaranteed provided you're meeting up the minimum requirement. But when it comes to master's and PhD level, there is certainly some funding available. But as we understand, for research at the master's and the PhD level, you've got to be absolutely strong. You need to stand out of, from the crowd with respect to your research proposal and the kind of research background you hold. In terms of the advantage of choosing, so beside being such a strong research-led and a well-recognized institution, we're also very, very student-friendly, and that's honestly keeps again a very, very popular among students because we understand that international students, especially, is coming from a different academic background, so they really need that comfort and a one-to-one interaction, and that's what we do. We also emphasize on smaller class size, which means the faculty-student ratio is very we are being very mindful about the faculty-student ratio. Not only you make that strong connection with peers, but able to converse, connect with professors every time. Also, we have some, some activities open for students, whether they want to participate in clubs. So Lakehead has over 25 different clubs and activities. We are very strong with the athletics. So we've got all sort of sports open for students. We also, work on presentation skills or communication skills or how to build a CV, how to prepare for an interview with respect to the Canadian job market. And there are so many absolutely, other advantages of choosing Lakehead to study. Mm-hmm. When we look at our faculties, so we have, Lakehead offers 10 different faculties. So we have different programs to offer under different faculties. That includes business, education, engineering, health and behavioral sciences, natural resource management, environmental studies, and social sciences. And all these programs are pretty much available both at bachelor's and master's level. And also, I think this is very important for especially undergraduate students to know that we also have excellent exchange programs. Now, these exchange programs are called the study abroad programs, provides the opportunity to study abroad at a partner institution while retaining full-time registration status at Lakehead University. So we have agreements for student exchange with a number of institutions around the world, with countries like US, UK, Germany, France, Singapore, Korea, Spain, Sweden, and many more. And we have a dedicated team helping students to look for the study abroad program. Usually the study abroad program starts after the second year. So third and fourth year is when you could look into exploring that option. That is pretty much available with majority of undergraduate programs. Now, when we look at when we focus on the undergraduate, we have over 50 different individual specializations with over 100 minor and major combinations. So that doesn't really limit you to study only, let's say, management. So with management, you could also add music or creative writing. And that sort of spread we have pretty much with all the programs. In terms of the courses, so we offer both 3 years as well as 4 years. Now, advantage of taking a 4 years program is 1, you get an honors degree. 2, you also get co-op. So that's something very, very important, is an internship, which is a paid internship, and students could work for 20 hours a week and from 12 months to 16 months. So pretty much 1 year is into the job. And these arrangements are facilitated by our student central team. We kind of keep organizing a lot of activities, career fairs for students to have a thorough understanding about the Canadian job market. So, you could see the different programs we offer at an undergraduate level. So I'm not touching too much onto it, but just giving you a quick insight, and we would keep that for Q&A session. Sure. Also, about a couple of years ago, we started our partnership with Georgian College. Pavon, I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yeah, you are pretty loud. That's okay. You're loud
Thank
enough.
you. It's a
Yeah.
Saturday morning, full of energy. So
Yeah,
here we
if you
go.
want, you can like lower down your voice. No worries.
Oh, really?
I can increase your volume. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
thank
good.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we look at our programs, so this association started about a couple of years when the student would get an advantage of taking up a diploma and a degree when they would study 2 years at Georgian College in Berry and 2 years at Aurelia campus. So Lakehead keeps the right to accept and reject an application. And the additional advantage of going with Lakehead Georgian is extra scholarship. So as we progress, I'm going to talk about Lakehead Direct Scholarship. So with Lakehead Direct Scholarship, undergraduate students could also look at getting 4,000 additional scholarship if at all they have about 70 or 75 in their grade 12. Now this is very exciting about knowing about the graduate program. So we have over 30 different individual options. Majority of the graduate programs gets divided between research and course based. But for course based, the application would be submitted directly through the portal. And for research, the process is that reach out to a supervisor, right? You got to start conversing with them, open a dialogue, share your research proposal to understand the requirements and the availability of a spot. As we understand that, especially for research program, we're looking at a handful number of students, not only because of the funding option or the partial funding option we have extended to our students. So this usually is for 2 years. So whether you're going for a research or a course base, it's usually for 2 years. And lot of programs, just like bachelor's, lot of programs at graduate level also have co-op, especially engineering. So all programs that include civil, chemical, electrical, computer, environmental have co-op, and that lasts for about 8 months. So once you complete your first year, you get 8 months of a co-op, which is going to be absolutely paid full-time job, and then followed by another year. So that makes a total of 32 months. You do not pay anything to the university for the co-op, but it's how that's how the spread looks like. But the co-op is absolutely optional. So if you want to miss out, if you want to leave that, you could continue with your regular program. When we look at a business program, both at bachelor's and master's, we are an AACSB accredited university. That again has a co-op. So only 4% of schools worldwide, roughly about 14,000 schools worldwide, to have that accreditation. So whether you're studying at Thunder Bay or Aurelia, bachelor's or master, you are actually studying, you're going to get a well-accredited international degree. Now, these are the programs which have co-op, so whether it's computer engineering, forestry, physics, kinesiology, environmental management, sustainability, and economics have co-op at both bachelor's and master's level. This is again very important. How expensive or how economical are we as an institution? So when we look at the undergraduate fees, so that ranges from 27 to 31,000 Canadian dollars for 1 year. I'm sorry. And then we have a lot of scholarships to offer to undergraduate students. At master's level, that ranges between 27 to 30,000 Canadian dollars per annum. So there are 3 terms in a year. And as I said, that you could progress either with your second year program straight away. When we look at our MBA, we offer both 12 months and 16 months, and that's what the fees for the MBA program that ranges between 40,000 to 54,000 Canadian dollars. So even if you study a 16-month MBA program, you would still get the maximum stayback option, that is for 3 years. In terms of the accommodation on and off campus, so both Aurelia and Thunder Bay are pretty economical in terms of staying both on and off campus. On an average, student would spend about $1,000 if they're staying on campus. And off campus, as we understand, going to be a little more economical. So that would be about 500 to 600, and you would be able to manage everything pretty comfortably. Jobs are readily available, so students are able to find part-time job within 2 to 3 weeks of the landing, or maximum within a month. So that's exciting to share about the scholarship. This is at an undergraduate level. The different categories we have so for fall 21, we've increased the scholarship amount in all the three categories as 10,000 annually, 7,500 annually, and 6,000 as one-time benefit. Whosoever is looking to study the Lakehead Georgian could add additional 4,000 to it. Now, obviously, the scholarship is going to be limited and subject to renewal terms and condition. So my advice is to reach out to the team, Bradford team, as early as possible to book your slot, to book, to start getting your applications, because the portal has already been open for fall 21. So whosoever is looking at the master's and bachelor's level must get going with their application process as early as possible, and that's what the deadlines we have for different courses. Masters we will continue to accept till the January 31st for nursing, and 1st March for undergraduate, and graduate programs have a deadline of 1st of February. So we've already closed admission for September. Sorry, fall. I'm sorry, for winter 21 has already been closed, but the admission for spring, the deadline is 15th of January, as well as for masters is 1st February. So make sure that you reach out to Bradford team to help you with the application process. Now, these are few, student-run centers, cafeterias on campus to just give you a feel of how, the different activities and support system we have for students, and that's how the students' life looks like at the campus. So, as Pavon started the presentation, that it is a diverse, absolutely, Lakehead is a very, very diverse institution. We have brilliant students coming from different nationalities, and this picture really shows that how well our culture looks like on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I advise you to follow and see the virtual link to know about the campuses, make sure that you follow us on different social media channels to know more about Lakehead and their offerings, as well as know more about different faculties. So that's about it. So this ends a formal presentation. Pavon, thank you so much for listening me patiently, and the floor is absolutely open for students now. Thank you.
That was a great and very wonderful presentation, and very short and sweet, I would say, because I know what to offer to the viewers as the the center point information, giving more. I mean, rather than giving every details about every program or the labels or everything, I believe you have done the wonderful presentation. So. I'm happy, we got many programs still on offer, and we have all the labels like undergrad as well as masters, let's say graduate and PhD programs as well. In our market, the tuition structure looks a bit expensive in such a way, because as you understand, Nepal is a price sensitive market, meaning that even if you have that range of tuition structure, so our student would like to ask for scholarships, and they would see the opportunity. So what is it about a scholarship offer or such a way to deduct their pricing?
When we look at the scholarships at an undergraduate level, guaranteed, as long as they're meeting up the minimum requirement of 75 for Lakehead programs, as well as 70 for Lakehead Georgian. Now, when we look at the master's level, I'm afraid we don't have any scholarships for course-based programs, but when you look at the research-based or thesis-based, the student could certainly expect some sort of grant open. But again, as I said, that it is very important for them to submit their applications timely. And I did mention it in my last interaction that this year we've got a few students from Nepal who have been offered partial funding. So I remember there was a student I'd met while I was in Nepal last year. Early this year. He has been offered entry into the chemical engineering and offered a $10,000 scholarship. So there is absolutely extensive support available in terms of extending scholarships at all the levels.
Great. Yeah, you're right. And we also have majority of our students who applied from our agency, Bradford Global. They have been offered with scholarship or graduate assistantship. So this is great to tell this truth to our future students as well. So we cannot guarantee every time scholarships, but of course, mostly we are able to have our students being awarded with the scholarships or such assistantships. So it all depends on your academic profile or any portfolio. and also like the application timeline, like how early like can you apply uh, uh, till the funds are available, the universities will be able to consider. And there's some more things as well, please.
And just to add, whosoever is looking for especially research-based program,
Right.
they must get going with the process as we speak,
uh,
because the seats are limited. And obviously, at a research level, it's not about extending funding, but it's about the most competitive, the most strong applicant would get a spot. So make sure that you start your homework as early as possible and reach out to the supervisor. Our website is very, very user friendly. When you go on to the graduate studies, you would get to see the different programs. As soon as you open, you get to see both about the course based and research based, as well as who you should be contacting at the university. So there won't be any issue of not finding out who should you contact, because the university has, the website has each and every information required.
Yeah, all it needs is your smartness. How smart you are to like get into the right faculty, and then do some like research. Let's say about the course, or like who to contact to, what to expect from, and then how you exchange your like communication. So that matters a lot.
And
Please.
another thing, that reminds me that while I was at the campus last year, I met a student who was from India, and he went on to study masters in course based with electrical and computer engineering. So
Mhm.
he was one of the toppers in the class, and the faculty himself had told him to join the research. So the second year, so from course based, he switched over to the research base in the second year and had been offered complete waiver app, the fee waiver for the next year, for the second year. So there are different opportunities, not necessarily that only the scholarship is offered to research space, but again, as I said, that there is a smarter way to handle and to deal with your application. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, like there is nothing like one size fits all. It's more like, go by the individualistic, like, profiling. Let's say of course, you should know about that. Like, you come from your background, and then that might not match with your friend's background. And then see, like, it's all up to the faculty, and, like your like profiling, how strong profile you got in terms of like, the academic background, as well as those testing, and your skills and certain areas. And you should be well aware of that. And at Bradford, you can actually like talk about those opportunities for you, and we'd be like guiding you to the right department, and we'll take you from there. So just like do some research going online at Lakehead University's website, and please come to us for counseling. We'd be happy to guide you through. Thanks, Garima, for giving that insight about how much, or like how we get these scholarships or such assistancy. And a good thing about Lakehead, one more like good thing about Lakehead is like you offer co-op programs in several areas. So how do they I mean, how are you like offered these co-op programs? Like, what is the structure like? And everybody who gets into the program, let's say get admission into that program, would be automatically like getting into those co-op programs because it is designed like that, or how is it?
Oh, that's a beautiful question, and I think it is very important for our audience to know how does the co-op really,
Mhm.
what is the eligibility and the work term. So usually the co-op is certainly attached with majority of our undergraduate and master's program. At master's computer science, which is a MSc computer science,
Mhm.
civil, electrical, mechanical, environmental, physics, economics, they all, and master of education, they all have co-op. So usually the co-op for master students starts after the first year. There are 3 terms in a year followed by
Mhm.
8 months. And yes, university, the faculty certainly facilitate the process by organizing a lot of career fairs around the year.
Mhm.
And what we have seen, honestly, students are getting placed very comfortably, and the remuneration is very high. So
Mhm.
when they work part time, they earn about $14 because that's the average wage rate. But
Mhm.
during the co-op time, we have seen students earning as high as $35, especially mechanical engineering, computer science, which is so demanding. And also at the bachelor's level, whether it's business, engineering, science, or environmental, there is a co-op available. So students can work, from 4 to 16 months. Students need at least 12 months of co-op to receive the designation on the degree. So if they want the co-op to be written on the degree, they must complete 12 months of co-op, and work terms are available summer after the second, summer after third, to summer after fourth. And we are looking at a cumulative average of 70%. So that goes for both bachelor's and masters. They should have, they need to maintain at least 70% as an cumulative average or higher is required to be eligible.
That's great. Garima, I just wonder, when you talk about like international students, because they're searching for a good opportunity, of course, study destination wise, they might be thinking going either going to Canada or the UK or the US or Australia. So, do you think one should choose Canada and Canada and Lakehead University over other countries in terms of the programs? Let's say somebody like you just mentioned, this co-op program is great because it already includes those sort of program structure, like real world experience with through those like co-op, let's say internships or such placements, or you can call placements in most cases in the UK, like they got programs with placements. So how do you but some countries like US may not have programs with all these in the internship designed within the program itself, unless you want to get some credits, like 3 credits or 6 credits, like by working like outside their industry list, or going abroad for your study abroad exchange program for some time. So how do you just differentiate? I would appreciate it if you get to make some comparison.
Wow, that's brilliant. And I think I'm kind of probably answering this question after a very long time, because
Okay.
Canada has become one of the most popular destinations. Because the country provides world class education, which is recognized globally. The cost of living is a very, very economical cost of the program. So when we do the comparison, right, with Australia, with US, with UK, right, it is about comparison of the currency difference as well as different opportunities. So I believe the Canadian education system encourages cross-disciplinary studies and the development of transferable skills. At the same time, being very, very cost conscious. And the best thing is that as an industry, sorry, as a country, so I, again, not I just want to keep that very generalized, not kind of going only from the university point of view, but I believe Canada has actually received well, have always been acknowledged the fact that it caters to different sort of, different sort of student fraternity. So whether somebody is looking to study at a university like Lakehead, or there's so many other universities or few colleges also. So that way, I believe Canada is very known to offer the kind of different programs and structures open. So one is academic excellence is absolutely at par with any other country. Ample research opportunities, right? So, for example, we are talking about Lakehead, there are a lot of opportunities, and that is all across the globe, all across the country. So whether you're going to any other, taking up any other university also, there are enough opportunities for students to explore. Affordability, I think we've already spoken about that. As when we compare to universities in the US, UK, Canada is fairly cheaper, so the return on investment is higher, and it is quite a viable option for students coming from Nepal, right? And as obviously we've been talking about the scholarship, so students can apply to a range of scholarships to cut down on their educational expenses. Cultural diversity, I think that's something which is very, very important. You'll always find people are extremely warm, welcoming, and you see varied ethnic groups with different cultures and lifestyle. So the multicultural environment in Canada promotes friendliness and peaceful living like no other country. So when they look at the United Nations ranking also, they would see that how well we are recognized in terms of friendliness and peaceful culture. Uh, obviously, this is perhaps this is common for all countries, that you can obviously earn while you learn. So that's another advantage. And immigration opportunities. So I think we cannot miss the immigration piece when we're talking about Canada.
Yeah, glad that you
Because
brought it up.
Canada, absolutely, because Canada's post-graduation work permit allows students to stay and work in Canada for up to 3 years after completion of their program. And thereafter, this, I mean, obviously, we again, when we look at the return on investments, it's not about the stay back right after the program, but opportunities to kind of have good settlement. So I think Canada again has been very open and clear. IRCC has been very open and clear about the different opportunities extended to international students. So these are some very very important aspects, USPs of Canada vis-a-vis other countries.
That's great. I'm sorry, like it was something like that was not a part of like this
No, no.
like event with the Lakehead University, but I'm glad that you could answer these all. Like vividly, like taking into consideration the current immigration policies towards international students by these countries, especially that we just talked about, and of course, like every country is very good at like its immigration policies, I would say, because see, like they just determine this facts, like international students are they're part of like economy or the culture or their like growth. So you see, like it could be Canada, like attracting these students today. It could be like UK tomorrow, or it could be Australia yesterday, or like this goes just go by the like the trend. I think it's and in the meantime, because why I'm talking like this, because we not only represent the institution in Canada, rather Bradford Global itself is a very dynamic, let's say multi destination education consulting firm, because we started with the US, and then added Canada, then Australia and New Zealand, then now like UK. So we just wanted to make sure, because our counselors, and thanks to the folks that are joining me in the watch party now. Mostly I see our partner institution from the UK. I'm very thankful to their support, and I hope like Garima did her job the best way she could.
No,
All right.
and I think your team has been doing fantabulously well, and
Thank you.
has obviously said that it's just about serving students with so many other options. Obviously, it's just like a one-stop shop for
Yeah.
students to know about study abroad options. So, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, you're right. Okay, thanks for that. And I think this is very fair answer to anyone who is considering about a study abroad plans, but not sure where to. So I think you got an answer. Garima, thanks again for that. And let's move on to the next one. We have also the COVID update and current academic profile. So and also all these things that you have shared with me in the private chat, I'll be like sharing it in the chat box as well. And uh, next thing about the admission process, what do you look at to accept a student, and how long it takes, by the way?
Okay, so this is a very, very important question when you look at applying to Lakehead. So you got to be very patient.
Hmm.
But when it comes to undergraduate admissions, I think the team is doing absolutely fantabulous job. They are so prompt, active in responses and assessments. So within 2 weeks, undergraduate students should get a response. So for undergraduate applications, we look at the grade 10th, 12th primarily, but if the 12th is in progress, we would demand them to submit the 11th also. So 10th, 11th, and 12th if in progress. And as an institution, we also honor MOI. So MOI is an English proficiency document. You could get it from the school you're studying. The last years were taught in English. But as an institution, not only MOI, we also accept IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, and even Duolingo. So there is no stopping in terms of just giving one English test. You could give any, or even to start your application, you could submit with MOI. So that's pretty much for the undergraduate admissions. The process is very simple. Everything is available online, and your team is well versed with the entire process. So, they just need to get in touch with the team to help them to complete the application thing. And when it comes to the scholarship for undergraduate student would only be evaluated once we get the 12th results.
All right.
Okay. So that will be on hold until the result is out. for the master, so no SOP, no LOR, nothing is required from undergraduate students. But when it comes to masters, I think this is something very important. So just like undergraduate, we also accept in progress degree students. So the ones who are completing or yet to complete the degree in 2020 or are they in the final year could apply. We are looking at a minimum of 4 years of bachelor's or 3 years honors degree. So we don't accept any past class or any regular 3 years. It has to be either honors or 4 years regular bachelor's degree. We're looking at a minimum of 70%, which is equivalent to about 2.7, 2.8 out of 4. Plus, letter of recommendation again is very, very important. So we don't require students to submit the printed copy of the LORs, purchase the email ID of the referees to send out an e-form to them. Statement of purpose is not needed. We don't need that. So LORs, individual mark sheets, and of course English proficiency document. So as we require, as we are okay to accept MOI for bachelor's, we're absolutely fine to accept that for the master students also. MOI is okay. Otherwise the ALS requirement is a 6.5 in no band less than 6, and other equivalent tests like Duolingo, PT, TOEFL, everything is acceptable. Yeah,
Well,
and the processing time. Sorry, so the processing time for
go ahead, please.
masters, because of the number of applications we receive, right? It is somewhere between 3 months, 3.5 months from the date of submission of the applications. I really want the audience to be very clear about it and have very fair expectation about the decision, the time required. I cannot promise that it will be out within fortnightly. So that is why it is important for you to apply as early as possible. Do not wait for the deadline of 1st of February. Make sure you submit your application as early as possible. Yeah.
Absolutely, because there is no harm by applying in time, even though you are going through this pandemic, and we understand this is a challenging time. Yet, the universities like Lakehead and many other partner universities from Canada, US, UK, and Australia and New Zealand that Bradford directly works with, they have been accepting the students, even though there is lockdown or kind of like situation that we all are facing. No matter where you are coming from. So I mean, wherever you are, it's causing us that sort of situation. But again, the institution like Lakehead University has been very flexible in accepting your application for upcoming intake. And again, the Canadian government has been accepting the online visa processing as well. So you can get the AIP, the approved in principle. That's literally a online visa that confirms your visa to Canada once it is good to travel, once its borders are open. So just keep in mind. So because you might feel like, what if I'm ready and I get my offer, but at the end of the day, you cannot travel to Canada, so am I going to waste my time or money just doing online course or all? And by the way, just want to tell our viewers that it's not just about the visa, they can actually apply for now, but next thing is even though you start your course online from day one, then that is counted towards your total duration of your course completion. I mean, it is counted towards your after graduation plans, like for your post-study work purpose, it is counted that way. Yes, Garima, so can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. I think again, well, I'm sorry, I really don't want to talk much about the visa, requirements and the current rules and regulations. Everything is available on IRCC website. But as rightly said, that from the first day of your studying online, that will be added towards the post-study work visa. So, we started a presentation and discussion about that, how well open IRCC, a Canadian government, has been. So, so I think they understand the value of international students,
Yeah,
and they're trying to have the best thing coming for them. Yeah.
Like you said, they love international students coming to Canada, enhancing their studies, and then grow themselves, and bring back the best they could from Canada to their home country eventually. So over the time. And yeah, thanks for just reminding me of that, because I was talking about PSW thing, but again, I thought I should tell our viewers that you're not gonna miss any single day. That counts towards your PSW, application
Absolutely.
request. All right. So next thing, like you just said, about English proficiency, because the fact, due to this situation, the students are not able to take the test, like they're not sitting in the IELTS, the regular test, but they have IELTS indicator, or other forms of exam, could be PTE or Duolingo. So how many of them are we accepting at Lakehead, and the Canadian High Commission accepting that in the meantime, or not?
See, as an institution, I often use this line that when you're choosing Canada's destination, there are two battles to fight. So one is to get an admission, and second is to get a visa. So when we look at the admission, from the admissions point of view, we're absolutely fine with students taking up a Duolingo and getting a score of 110, or PT with 58, or TOEFL with 80, and IELTS with 6.5. But when it comes to the visa, there might be a few reservations. But I think students applying from Nepal should, their application should get accepted with different forms of English acceptance, English proficiency, because I don't think so. Nepal is yet not following the SDS category, because under SDS, the student should have an IELTS only. But if they're applying, through NOC, I think the High Commission should be fine accepting different forms of English proficiency tests. Yeah.
Yeah, because from our experience from this past few months, sometime we hear from our partner institution that the High Commission people are saying yes to other forms of English fluency test, or sometime not. So I think it's all up to the institution who accepts for their admission purpose, and then then look to the Canadian High Commission. But again, we should check the both sides and then prepare for that. And we highly recommend to take this IELTS, or even TOEFL, this IBT test would be better, or Duolingo, if the university is accepting. So that way, I think we can still move forward with the plan. All right.
Yeah.
Great. So we almost wrapping up, but I'm still with a few more questions for you, Garima.
Oh yeah.
The next thing would be, see, how normally, of course, you dealing with so many applications across the regions, and these countries that you are in charge of. So it depends, the programs that you're applying to get an offer. I'm talking about the turnaround time, or it is the normal 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or even months, to get offer. So what is it like, or how much pattern?
Oh no, it is absolutely, yeah. It's absolutely depends upon the faculty you're applying for. For example, engineering would always be, the turnaround time for engineering would always be more because of the number of applications we receive. Management, which is MBA or MSc management, is a lot quicker. And massive education. So I think I would really want our audience to get a little more insight about the massive education. This is not like a regular education program, right? It is the program which is offered in all the three intakes. So whether we have a winter, a spring, and a fall, this is the only program which also accepts 3 years of bachelor's degree. And this is the only program where the turnaround time is just less than 2 months, or sometimes we've seen offer coming within a year also, within a month. And this is the only program which has different specializations. So this is open to students who are looking to do something into environmental studies. So we have Master of Education in Environmental Studies. We have gerontology, so students with nursing background. We have women's studies, so students with Bachelor's of Arts, Sociology, Psychology could apply. And then we have education. So somebody who's looking to explore something into education. But not to be mistaken, you cannot be a teacher, a professional teacher. It is more on to exploring the operational opportunities in the field of education. So that's something which I believe has picked up in the last couple of years. And rather in last couple of intakes, we've seen a lot of applications coming, and the faculty is absolutely very supportive. So the turnaround time could be a lot quicker. Computer science could take a longer time. But again, I'd like to share about computer science. There are three different options. So we have a 1 year of computer science, we have a 2 years of computer science, which is a course based, a project based, as well as a 2 years of research. So if they apply for a 1 year of computer science, the process, the turnaround time is shorter or quicker. But when they're applying for the 2 years, whether it's research or project, the time taken is higher. So I think it depends the kind of program, faculty they're applying. But at the end of the day, when they're applying, so I think we really want to emphasize that they should be get going with the process. Do not wait for the last date to come to submit the application. Yeah.
All right. And as the final question to you, how would you like to suggest, the students we have got their EIP, but due to the COVID situation in your area, let's say in Lakehead University area, let's say Ontario, or let's say like any of the campus areas. So do you still recommend them to travel, given the borders are open, or like have them wait for some time, or totally it's their decision? So what do you think?
I think no. So there are a couple of things which are very important. One, the readiness of the institution. So we are a DLI institution. So, which means the institution should have a full-fledged plan. But we have also have made quarantine facilities at the campus. So if somebody is coming and joining the campus, they could stay on campus and quarantine them for 15 days. Two, we're also as an institution waiting for the guidelines from the IRCC. So that is why 20th of October is very important for all of us. As soon as the borders are open and the High Commission, which is the VFS office, has started taking applications, getting the approval, then I think the student could get going and could make their plans to travel to the country. So there are three different pieces. One is first, the most important thing is to get guidelines, clear guidelines from IRCC, then VFS office to be opened and the university to accept. So we would only be accepting students once there is further guidelines by the university, by the IRCC.
That's great. Absolutely, we're looking forward to that update, and that absolutely gives us a better picture of what we are trying to do in terms of helping the students moving forward, and what expectation can be what would be the expectation. All right, go ahead, please.
Just to add, we have 0 active case in Thunder Bay, so there are no COVID in Thunder Bay. Schools have been opened, colleges have been opened, so everything is absolutely normal and running absolutely normal in the city. We're just waiting for the government to kind of get us a little more clarity to start accepting students from international market. Yeah.
Given at the scenario at other countries, major countries, they are talking about having to requiring the travelers, including the students, to quarantine themselves for about 2 weeks time at specific location, or in their own private place. So what it is if somebody wants to travel to Canada for your university, so it's a Canadian government, or it could be the university itself who want the students to quarantine themselves. So though we are expecting that immigration updates on the 20th, so do you have any guess, or what is it?
It goes hand in hand, right? As I said, the institution has to have a DLI, which Lakehead has. So it's a designated learning institution, which we are. That is very important. Two is we should have space to quarantine our students, which Lakehead has. So whether they're going to Aurelia campus or Thunder Bay campus, we can quarantine them within the university, and absolutely a very, very nominal cost, to have that facility. Two, Lakehead is also looking to to have partners around the campus. So just in case if we are a little overwhelmed with the students population, we have, we should have those provisions to get our students accommodation in the city. So we are kind of working on it, and we all are keeping our fingers crossed to have something new and positive coming for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't wait to see that happening. And of course, how many days? Like almost like 10 days from
I think
now.
about 3 days, 3 days. Yeah, the countdown
Yeah.
has begun. 3 more days to go.
Yeah. Then we hope like we'll have better news, because like Garima just mentioned, the Canada has had no such cases in most of the cities, most of the places. They just like I hear a lot from like different medias, like media, that they might be opening the borders for the travelers, including the students coming from any country. But in the meantime, they're also worried, they may not have the enough facilities to quarantine, to organize, to offer those sort of facilities. So maybe they're coming up with some plan, even if they are not um, opening the borders in a very let's say usual fashion. Again, I would say thousands of people can travel to Canada, and then business would be coming back to new normal, I would say, not the normalcy before this pandemic, but a new normal. And like any other countries, uh, Canada so loves to receive the visitors, including the students, to come and do their businesses, including the studies. So uh, let's hope things would come up, come this way, when we have next announcement, or sooner in the near future. So with that said, Garima, any special advice, how you wanna say share with the or prospective students here, how this sound like
Well,
coming to Lakehead
certainly.
University.
Yeah. Thank you. Once again, I just like to thank you, your team, and the audience who've been listening to our conversation. As we understand that going to any country, let's say, going to any country, or when we look at even Canada, it could be a little daunting, or you could be a little nervous and exciting at the same time. But we all are there. The team of Bradford is there, Lakehead is there to help our students and fill that gap. So I think one thing we all have learned from this outbreak, that the world may have been brought to a standstill, but education can never stop.
No, yeah, you're right.
Even the schools and universities around the world are temporarily closed, but everyone has managed to adapt to the online education model quite well. So with this, I think you should not be putting any second thought. You should not be leaving your dreams unfilled. So make sure that you get going with the process. Be positive, and I'm sure there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much once again for having us here. It has been a wonderful interaction with you and the lovely audience. We just hope that the session was very helpful, and they are a little more clear about Lakehead programs as well as Canada as a country.
Absolutely, and it's always been pleasure having you and your team on our events, so the virtually or on site, and we can't wait to see you, welcoming you in Nepal and other countries where Bradford operates, and in person. I'm sure and you said that right, education never stops for anyone anywhere, despite what situation you talk about. So see, every situation is not gonna stay forever, so let's just get
Yeah.
prepared. The program, this live session here, together with our guest representing from the university, Lakehead University, is mainly about helping you with the information that you need in regards to your further study plans in Canada, and also giving you the latest updates about the country, and the plans that the government might come up with, so as to help the international students like yourself. So please feel free to reach out to us with any queries you may have. You can actually visit us in person as well. We have those like safety guidelines properly followed, and we have those care. I mean, we have it like care and support to you in regards to your application and all the processing. So please contact to us, and you have our details on the screen as well. And we'd love to hear from you how we are doing and how we can support you better. And in the meantime, while I steal a little bit time of Garima, our guest today, I just want to share with you about our program tomorrow. It's about the University of West London. It's from London itself, and we have the regional team coming up live tomorrow at the same time. I think we started a little earlier today, and it's good that Garima has got the time. And then tomorrow it would be 10 a.m. Nepal time. And until then, I'd love to say, please keep yourself safe in your surroundings, and always keep moving with your plans, and never stop thinking about your education, like Garima says. Thank you, Garima, once again, and please be safe.
So much. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care.
By the way, thanks for giving us time in this weekend as well.
I think it's always been a pleasure connecting with you, Pavon. Thank you so much for all the wonderful work you've been doing, and we look forward to coming back again on your show.
Sure. Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye. Yeah.